Okay, so welcome to the Lockdown Economy. So in the previous episode, we had an interview with a fashion designer, and the other time we also have an interview with another designer also. But today we're bringing to you something quite distinct. Bringing to you someone in the real estate business. Want to really know how the lockdown economy has really impacted the real estate business in Nigeria. So, and today is my guest is Mr. Nike, is the CEO of Velox Property. So I used to know him as Nike Property Limited, but just within a short while during the lockdown, things just changed, and and I kind of felt that it's gonna be like a perfect profile to be interviewed. For us to really understand how this lockdown economy has really impacted in this business, because from the lookout of things, it looks as if something is really happening, with you. So can I get to know more about your business, Mr. Nike?
Okay, my business is actually Velox Development Limited. Although I was running it personally before the lockdown, I started real estate about 4 years ago, and it was popularly I was running it under the company Nike Properties Consult. Yeah. So it was during the lockdown, I thought it twice that, okay, this is time for expansion. This is time to expand. So although I have had the plans to expand my business and grow my reach, right? So during the lockdown, I thought it twice and said, okay, this is the perfect time for me to expand. And then I had to jump into it, got a new office space and rebranded from Nike Properties Consult that was basically into marketing of properties to Velox Development Limited, which is now a real estate development and a real estate consultant. So we do property development. We also do property sales and marketing. Other than the initial company that I was running called Nike Properties Consult, I was just basically into real estate sales and marketing. But Velox Development Limited is now majors on Velox Development Limited now majors on real estate development, property consultancy, property investment advisory, and also property sales and marketing. So these are the areas that Velox Development Limited covers. So during the lockdown, a lot happened though. Basically, real estate is, when you talk about real estate, it's first the business of the people. Yeah, you have to, it has to do with day-to-day interaction with people. That you just know how you can do real estate effectively without interacting with people, without meeting people. So when the lockdown was imposed, so there was a little issue with our business, the real estate sector in general, because the lockdown affected us. We couldn't take clients to site anymore, right? But during that time, I had to improvise, and I said, okay, since clients can no longer come to site anymore, all right? So I improvised, and then I started doing WhatsApp inspection, WhatsApp live video inspection, or Facebook live video inspection. So if the client can come on a WhatsApp video call, I can get down to the property myself. The client does not need to leave his or her house for the sake of the coronavirus. So the client will just stay in the comfort of his or her home while I get to the site myself, and then turn on the live video option on WhatsApp, and then I show the person around the property, and on the spot, the person can make a decision. So that was how as a company, we were able to navigate through the lockdown.
Okay, so you talked about you being operating as a sole, as a sole property consult before you improved to having the Velox Property Limited. So why working as Nike Property Limited, like before the prior to the lockdown, were you working alone or you had a group of network people you work with?
Okay, while working as a Nike Properties Consult, I wasn't working alone. In as much, I didn't have a staff then, but I had lots of other colleagues. The real estate business, you just have to connect with some other realtors, right? Okay. Because sometimes your client might have a brief that you do not have. For instance, a client might say, I want a 6-bedroom fully detached duplex somewhere in GRA in Port Harcourt. I'm resident in Port Harcourt. So if a client says that and I don't have that readily available, I would just call the other realtors within my circle and say, okay, this brief is my client wants this brief. Which of you have this brief? And then we can connect and do the business from there.
Okay,
so
like
as at that time, that was
you work with them like based on partnership level.
Yes, it was
okay.
It was solely based on partnership.
Okay, there was no employee status. You had an employee agreement with them, right?
Yes. It was basically.
So now transitioning to Velox Property Limited, do you have something of such structure, like people you call your employees? Do you get me?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So
yes, we do. We do.
Okay, that means it suffices to say that you now have a more proper structure than it used to be with in Nike Property.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
So you talked about doing this live WhatsApp call with clients during the lockdown. So what can you say could be is your perception prior to the lockdown and during the lockdown? Were people buying more property during the lockdown, and which set of your customers you're buying this property? Because I understand that you have you help people both in the diaspora, invest in real estate, also with people, within the locality. So what did you see as was there any difference in the kind of people who were investing in property? Were they more of the locals that were investing in property, or were they those in the diaspora that were investing more in property during the lockdown?
Okay, during the lockdown, more of Nigerians in diaspora were the people who invested in properties. That's speaking for my business in particular.
Okay.
During the lockdown, I did business with more Nigerians in diaspora than locals living here in Nigeria. Okay. And during the lockdown as well, although business was slowed down a bit, but then we relied on our existing customers, because getting new clients as at that time was pretty difficult. So we relied on our existing clientele, and then we sold to them, and then they also bought from us as well. That was during the lockdown. So we didn't do much business with the locals during the lockdown. During the lockdown, we did more business with Nigerians in diaspora.
Okay, that's amazing. So while I was going through your profile, something really struck me. I was like, your business is domiciled in Port Harcourt, and from the things I've seen, from the data I've seen, the real estate business is really booming in places like Lagos. I saw a data by PwC that, investments in real estate in Lagos yields as much as 100%, in profit. And then they're also making a kind of a prediction that whether in 2 years to come, that the Lekki Property Limited is going to, the properties within the Lekki Agis of Lagos is going to be, accounting for about 70% of the total revenue of the Lagos State government. So why, of all this information, this data, that you still choose to, to base your real estate business in Port Harcourt?
Okay, here is the thing. Yes, the Lagos real estate market is actually I will call it the capital of the real estate market, even in Africa. The Lagos real estate market is the largest real estate market in Africa as it is today. But let's come back to Nigeria. As Nigeria is today, if you're talking about real estate in Nigeria, you're talking about Lagos. The next thing you talk about Abuja, and the next city you talk about is Port Harcourt.
Yeah,
so Port Harcourt comes third in the real estate ranking in Port Harcourt, and the Port Harcourt real estate market is really not doing badly. Then on the other hand as well, we also realize that most residents in Port Harcourt also love to invest in the Lagos real estate market. So Velox Development Limited is not just developing properties here in Port Harcourt. We're also planning on expanding to own properties in Lagos. While we are at it, we have also partnered with some other real estate developers in Lagos. So our company here in Port Harcourt also serves as a link between the Lagos property market and investors here in Port Harcourt who would want to buy properties, invest in the Lagos real estate market, to have a bite of what the Lagos real estate market looks like. So instead of somebody traveling down to Lagos to meet a company that he or she does not know too well, you can just come down to our office here in Port Harcourt, and then you know that we are residents in Port Harcourt. We've been doing business here in Port Harcourt for a while now, and we own properties in Port Harcourt. Then you can easily connect with us, and then we can link you up to verifiable developers in Lagos State, where you can buy properties from, a good property from that can guarantee you good return on investment. So Velos Development Limited is not just serving the Port Harcourt residents or investors interested in investing in Port Harcourt. In another way, we are also serving the larger market as well. If you want to invest in Lagos State and you're resident in Port Harcourt or you're resident within the South, you can come down to our office and then we do the necessary verification of that particular property in Lagos. Stress-free. You don't need, the client might not even need to go to Lagos to start it, because we have done all of this job, verifying the property, confirming the authenticity of that property, and how economically viable that investment would be for our client. So it makes it easier for them. So Velox is more like the link, the bridge between the Lagos property market and investors in the South and in Port Harcourt.
Okay, so that was amazing. Apart from that, we're going to an economy that you can actually stay, site your office anywhere in the world and do business, around anywhere in the world. So that's actually okay. So I also saw something in your profile that I really want to ask you about. You said you were also, going into the haulage industry, like haulage industry.
Yes.
I saw something like that. So I don't really know how you want to fix these two businesses together, and then still, still grow, advance in, these two of these businesses. So can you just tell us a bit of what you're going to be doing in the haulage sector?
Okay, we in the haulage industry, we don't just intend to do end-to-end product deliveries. We basically, the reason we are going into haulage is because we have clients that come to us to say, I want to relocate to a new apartment. Can you help me get a new apartment? And then we say, okay, we can help you get a new apartment. And when we get that apartment, these clients are people who say, okay, I want to move my things from my old apartment to the new apartment I want to go into. So that's the reason why we want to take advantage of that market. So the haulage arm that we're going into is basically for relocation services. You want to relocate from your present office to a new office, we can help you secure a new office space and also move your things, help you relocate conveniently from your new space to from your old space to a newer space.
So if you're going to be working in the haulage industry, it means you're going to be, you are going to be adding like an add-on services. When you secure a property for a client, you help them move their properties to their new, location. So it's like an add-on service, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. So looking at your business right now, your Nike Property Limited, I'm still going to ask you to talk about the new estate you're trying to put up under the Velox Property Limited. But looking at your business right now, what are the three things you would need? Like if you could get something like an investor or someone talking to your business who is really interested in your business and is asking like three things you really need to put to further put some touches to your business. What could those things be?
Okay. First thing that we need currently now is access to funds, right?
Okay.
The Nigerian property market is a market with about 20 million housing deficit. And as a developer or as a company that is into real estate development, for us to be able to have a bite into this volume of housing deficit, we need a lot of funds to be able to develop these low-cost housing for the millennials and also the upper middle class Nigerians, right? So for now, one of the things that we need as a company is access to funds, access to investors who are willing to invest in the real estate markets, right? So yeah, that's the first thing that we need now. And then the next thing that is also important to us now is that we are trying to launch an online platform. Yeah, the online platform will be called Property Mob. It's more like a one-stop shop for everything real estate.
Sorry, you said it's property what?
Understand property mall.
Mog.
Yeah, property mall, like
Okay, mall.
M-A-L-L, mall.
Okay.
Yeah, property mall, M-A-L-L. So that's what we're also trying to launch that. So that also will require some, because it will be on the iOS and also on the Android platform as well. So the property mall will just be like a one-stop shop for everything real estate. Like we have looked into the property sales industry in Nigeria. Although there are some listing platforms in Nigeria doing so well, they are doing amazing things. There is the Nigerian Property Center, there is a Property Pro, and a whole lot of others.
And Trovit.
So there's also GG as well. They do a lot of
I was even going to ask what you're going to be doing, to replace those ones. So, is there any kind of services, differential services you're going to be offering?
What we are doing, what we intend to do with property mall will be a little bit different from what is already existing in the market, right?
Okay.
With property mall, we want clients to be able to have a live experience of the property they want to buy, even if they have not gotten to the site to see the property, right? Okay. With all of these listing platforms, what a client can only see is a picture. So, but with property mall, we want to
like
create
a feature, like something like a virtual reality or something.
Exactly, yeah. We want you to have a virtual reality option where the prospect can just click self-inspection. And once you click on self-inspection, you don't need an agent to take it to the site. You can just see the property for yourself through virtual reality. And once you have seen the property for yourself, you have seen the neighborhood, how it looks like. At that point, you can easily say, okay, I think I'm interested in this. Just call the agent that posted that listing, and then you do business. So we are trying to reduce the stress for agents, and also the stress of acquisition for prospects and clients as well. Because the issue of clients calling an agent, okay, I saw this advert, I saw the pictures, I would like to come and see the property. And for most of the time, some clients get to the site to see this property and it doesn't meet the expectation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they just saw pictures, and the pictures they saw were not really what the property is all about. So if there is more like a platform where clients can actually see this property in a virtual, clients leaving their houses, leaving their jobs, they end up disappointed. So they can just, with the help of virtual reality through property mall, they can inspect this property themselves. They call through across the agent and book for a meeting, and then close the deal from there.
Okay, that's amazing. So I guess that's the second. That's the for into access to funds, because I think you're going to be needing a lot of resources. Because if you look at like those other ones you mentioned, like Trovit, sometimes you see some properties on those sites, and by the time you contact those agents, you find that those properties are not are no more they're already taken. So you're going to be needing a lot of resources to to make sure that these things work asynchronously. Like once a property is taken, it's it's affected on the site and all that. So that's it falls under access to funds. So what other thing would you be needing? Or you just need access to funds?
Okay, we also need some form of joint venture partnership. Aside funds, yeah, we need joint venture partnership. There are some persons who own properties, undeveloped properties in strategic locations in major cities in Nigeria. They own strategic properties, right? So there's what we call joint venture partnership in real estate. Yeah, so we also need such kind of partnerships where somebody can say, okay, at Oshodi, I have 1,500 square meters that is undeveloped. Can we partner for us to develop this property, and then we can sell or let it out and share profit as it goes, right? Because that's actually what helps most developers in real estate. Yeah, so we are looking at getting more of joint venture deals as well. And then what we also need now, we're also looking at increasing our workforce.
Okay.
Yeah, because we'll be going into construction very soon. So we are looking at increasing our workforce, getting a structural engineer on the site, getting an architect, getting a project manager, and all of that. So we are working to see how we can also increase and improve our workforce as well. So basically, access to funds, access to joint venture partner investors, and also we are looking at increasing our workforce as well. So these are basically the three major areas that will be needing help.
Okay, that's amazing. So, can you just briefly talk about your new project?
Okay, our new project is actually located in a car. So currently at the moment, we are working to see how we can finalize negotiations with the major stakeholders, like the family who owns the property, the Ministry of Land and Housing, and the Surveyor General's Office, and also the Greater Port Harcourt City Development Authority, because this property falls within the jurisdiction of Greater Port Harcourt City Development Authority. So we need to get the necessary approvals and permits before we can finally launch it to the general public. And on that note, we're already 70% ready to resume sales. So we are just looking at getting the necessary approvals before we can officially resume sales to the general public. And this particular location where our property is located is one of the best locations to invest in Port Harcourt at the moment. At about 4 years ago, a plot of land in this particular location was sold for 700,000 naira per plot. And today, a plot of land in this location sells for 2 million and 2.5 million naira. You can see the level of appreciation.
Yeah.
And there is still room for more appreciation. And this location is getting more industrialized as the day goes by. So it is also viable for rental property development and also for commercial property development. Within the space of 4 years, a lot of oil servicing companies, construction companies have sited their offices and their yards in this very location. And lots of 3-star hotels and 5-star hotels are also being built within this same location. As we speak as well, the NDDC, they are also planning on building their staff quarters in this same location as well. So this is a location that is very, very economically viable. It is a location that will guarantee potential investors maximum return on their investment. Because the reason we went all out to ensure that we get the best location is because in real estate, aside from getting a good title, especially in Nigeria, there is peculiarity of title. You have to be very sure of the title of the property you're getting if you're investing in the Nigerian real estate market. So aside the issue of getting a good title if you're investing in Nigeria, one of the most important things you should look at for is location. Location matters a lot. So that's the reason why we, as a company, we went all out to ensure that we get a property in the very best of locations in Port Harcourt, because as a company, Velox, we are more concerned about giving our prospects and our clients access to profitable investing through real estate. That's basically what we are concerned about. We want to see that people don't just invest in properties and then they have to wait for donkey years before they get return on investment. We are, as a company, we are setting up a system. We are trying to grow a structure where people can invest in real estate and see that they can start making money, they can start getting return on investment almost immediately. That's the kind of real estate that we want to do. We call it the cash flow real estate, where you know that you are investing and you're getting return on investment. And for every good real estate investment, that cash flow will have to be there and appreciation will have to be there. That's what makes a real estate investment a good investment. The moment there is cash flow and you can also enjoy appreciation as well, then it is a good investment. So that's what we have taken our time to do, and that's what led us to this particular location, Eneka area of Port Harcourt. So the property itself is just 10-minute drive away from the Port Harcourt International Airport and 5-minute drive away from the popular East-West Road in Port Harcourt, and it is just another 8 minutes drive from Ikwere Road, the popular Ikwere Road in Port Harcourt as well.
Okay, so that's amazing. I was going to ask you, your modality, because, in real estate, some people just sell, just do this layouts and then they sell these lands, and then after people finish buying this land, they are nowhere to be found. I was going to ask you, are you going to continue with the management of this property or something, but we could leave that for another day. So what I'm going to ask you right now is, what is your perception right now before the lockdown and during or after the lockdown? What do you think is going to be happening? Are you going to be doing anything different, as regards the lockdown in your business? That would be just like the final note.
Okay, before the lockdown, we were stuck on doing inspection manually. Okay, the clients will have to call, book for site inspection, and then we'll have to be driven down to the site. That was how we did our inspection before. But now that the lockdown came in, the lockdown has changed a lot of things in the real estate sector. So as a company, even after the lockdown, we are also planning on including virtual reality tour on our inspection. So a client does not necessarily have to get down to the site to see our properties. So we're working on that's why I say we're also looking for financial investors, because we want to have a virtual reality experience that a client does not necessarily need to get down to the site. You can just see the site for yourself through virtual reality. But while we are waiting to get all of this sorted out, a client does not also need to get to the site if he's not within Nigeria, he's not disposed at that time. So what we're working on is our staff can get down to the site, and then with a WhatsApp live video, the client can hook up through a WhatsApp live video, and then the inspection can be done.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Naic.
So we are trying to see how we can use technology to enhance our business, that even the lockdown will not have in case the lockdown is in case the lockdown comes up again in Nigeria, it won't affect our business so badly.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Naic. It's been an interesting moment talking with you. Mr. Naic is a real estate guru, is a force in the real estate industry, and I'm so much excited to what's happening, within the space. So, Mr. Naic has been doing real estate, and before the lockdown, he has been doing it manually. But during the lockdown, it has given Mr. Naic the opportunity to, to have a proper plan for his business. He's done a lot of development and plans, and after the lockdown, we're going to be seeing a real estate kind of inspection that you don't have to get down there, but something that's been, done through the virtual reality. So I can proudly say welcome to the future of real estate with Mr. Naic. So thank you so much, Mr. Naic. I'm your host, Faith Inte. So see you some other time. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. All right.